A bright morning and you just wake up from a long 7 hours of sleep after a long period of work and hassle. Your day seems perfect. Then, suddenly, your sister wakes up and just ruin your whole day. Plus, your father that has a bad mood after a short 2 hours of sleep. As a Christian, you don't know what to do. Whether you act as the same behavior or you be like them, being a difficult people to understand. Watch all the points and I will give you a format to actually execute the points that I give. And this is not like other YouTube video. This video can actually change your behavior if you acted on them. All of my points come from serious devotion. I will give you 3 points on how to overcome this situation. But first, I will validate my point through this example. Let's imagine that you really act like them. You became also mad because they are mad and you don't like how your family behave. And instead of being a example to act that way, you became like them. Angrily and cursing, your family start questioning if you really are a Christian and if you really go to church. Then you also sense the guilt from what they said. Overcome this temptation, we need to realize and reflect this first point. First, know thyself. 2 Corinthians 13:5. Examine yourselves, whether ye be in faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves, how that Jesus Christ is in you, except ye be reprobates. In this chapter, Paul was actually in prison at the time, and he is writing a letter to the church of Corinth. Let's read the context. 2 Corinthians 13:2. I told you before and foretell you, as if I were present, and the second time, and being absent now, I write to them which heretofore have sinned, and to all other, that if I come again, I will not spare. This verse is the main context of the chapter, which indicate that Paul was actually asking the church if they are worthy of God's ministry. He then asked if they are really in faith, like in the verse 5 that says, examine yourselves. Now, Paul is not writing this unknown letter just to teach, but to warn other believers that the persecution was very strong, that it can happen anytime of the day. And Paul asks whether ye be in faith or not, because if don't, they will deny Jesus. Just like how Peter did before Jesus Christ was crucified. Then Paul asks if they are a reprobates. Reprobates, Oxford Language Dictionary, means that wicked, sinful, and like in this world. But Paul trusts the church enough that they are not like other Christians. 2 Corinthians 13:6. But I trust you that ye shall know that we are not reprobates. Now I ask you today, are you a wicked person? Like other human in this world? Do you know yourself? Your weakness? Your strength? If not, then click the description to get the PDF format on how to write a journal for yourself. No email needed, just download it already, then use it. Thank me later. It is very crucial to know our own self for a reason, because in some cases we are facing a challenge on dealing with difficult individual that really annoyed us. And if we don't know ourselves enough, then we will act as one like them. We'll also be mad at them, stress on them, and worse, shout and curse at them. Knowing our own weakness and strength can prevent this situation and live a better life. But if the person was actually crazy enough to not stop and was just mad for unknown reason, what can we do with that? Also, what if it does not happen once, but it happened every time? Picture this. Whenever your dad gives you a command to do something, then you did not meet the expectation of your father, but in a slight sense, not like a failure, but then he rage and curse you and give you vain emotions. It's slowly affecting your mental health every time you face this situation. How to prevent this situation? Number 2, know the background of the person. Matthew 5, verse 43 to 48. Ye have heard that it hath been said, thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thine enemy. But I say unto you, love your enemies. Bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them, which despitefully use you and persecute you, that ye may be the children of your Father which is in heaven. For he maketh the sun to rise on the evil and on the good, and sendeth rain on the just and on the unjust. This chapter indicates Jesus preaching multitude on the mountain, and seeing the multitude, he went up into a mountain. And when he was set, his disciple came unto him. This world teaches us to revenge and give the same energy that we receive from people. The famous movies tells it, from Spider-Man, Justice League, and any of that stuff. Well, they simply give a good lesson to viewers, but the way movies handle conflict is not practical and relevant to real life. Like your grandpa get killed, justice was indeed right, but you're not Spider-Man to fly around and chase the one that killed your grandpa, right? We let God give vengeance and revenge. Because in the end of the day, life is a life. Everything has a purpose. If God allows something to happen, then it has a meaning and will. So why knowing the background of the person? Knowing the background of your father or whatever that you know that hate, that have difficult attitude will help you understand and lessen the stress and weight that they put to you. Let's say your father asks you to hold a flashlight. Don't be scared if he shouted and cursed. Maybe the background of your father is always tired from work, is really struggling on the pipe, or whatever that be. It can still be a valid reason. It needs a valid reason so you can go your day without getting stressed and affected. Even though you just get cursed 10 times, there will come a time that they will realize their own action was actually bad.